Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here, and welcome to part 5 of the Q&A series. And I know I did one last night, but I'm here with part 5 now. And the first question is, what is your favorite Back to the Future and Star Wars film? Does the Around the Country movie contain nudity? Well, my favorite Back to the Future, the one that I like to watch the most is part 2. And I always like that interpretation of the future. It's too bad that some of the things from that kind of happened, but nothing major. Like the hoverboard thing would have been pretty cool, but I'm sure I would have exceeded the weight limit. And a few other things would have been cool, like those shoes and stuff. So I would say the second one. And a lot of people dislike the third one, but I always thought that was a really good one. For Star Wars, though, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I would say I like the last one the best. And does the Around the Country movie contain any nudity? Not really. There was one scene when they were standing by the mirror, you accidentally saw like this much of a butt cheek. So if anyone's looking for that, it's your lucky day. Speaking of movies you've been in, what's a day on set like? Do you have any plans in the near future to create your own independent full-length movie? Well, as for films like creating a movie, at some point, right now I'm working on trying to get one together. It's going to be like an anthology kind of thing, kind of like a creep show sort of. Um, but that's going to be ways off. I know one segment of that is going to be getting shot soon, though, by a different director. And then I'm going to direct one, and then Wet Movie is going to direct one. And the one I want to do is kind of retaking, the Lust for Blood thing. If you ever saw that short, and doing it the way I wanted to do it in the beginning, but we couldn't because of funding and everything. And then I want the movie to be hosted, like basically like a family telling stories, and it would be the cameos we would get. And I already know who I've talked to some people, and I have one specific person that I definitely want from Return of the Living Dead to be the mom. Now for, like, speaking of a day on the set, I guess the set would be, you be prepared. You're usually up very early. There's two ways it could be. It could be either if it's a day shoot, you could be getting there as early as 6. If it's a night shoot, you could be getting there, 6 a.m. If it's a night shoot, you could be there at 6. Shoot from 6 in the evening to 6 a.m. Sometimes it can be a bit longer. And if it's like if it's a bigger budget kind of film, like a SAG film, which I don't think I've really been on anything precisely like that. But I know at that they have turnaround rates where it would be over 12 hours or something. But the one thing that I guess you would say was, there can be periods of time when you really don't sleep much. And don't ever go into doing a film, if you are working on a film, thinking you're going to be doing a lot of sleeping. There's not a lot of that at all. A lot of times you can be very pooped out. But in the end, everything's worth it. But I guess what would happen is you get on set, and then, if it's like breakfast, they eat breakfast. I never usually would like to eat stuff in the morning. Then they would start shooting, and one thing is there's a lot of waiting around, whether it's setting up the lights and getting things prepared. I know in Hollywood films they have stand-ins, so they already get that stuff lit already. That's pretty much the main thing. There's nothing like out of the ordinary with it. It's just like a lot of waiting around for when they're ready to shoot your scenes, and that's pretty much the main thing. I mean, it's really what I love to do. So it's like it's either you like doing that kind of thing or you don't. And when you get on a set for the first time, you know if you do. The thing is, though, there's a lot of different types of films. So it's like certain people you work with, when everything's running smoothly, it's a great experience, and sometimes it can be chaotic. And I've been on one or two little chaotic things about a year or so ago. But if you ever on a chaotic one, don't think that they're all like that. See what's the next one. Will you be doing Around the Towns with someone else while you wait for MJ to come visit? By the way, love your channel. Me and my friends sat here for hours watching Around the Town vlogs. We can't get enough of them. Well, since this was from a while ago, I guess you haven't seen the newer ones, but my plan is once a month to do a vlog, Around the Town vlog with Wet Movie 1. And I'm also going to try and get certain guests every so often for it. I'll do some with my, Herb and Dweebo and Gina every so often. And the thing with MJ is, I haven't gotten to speak to him very much. He's very wrapped up with his girlfriend right now. He's got a girlfriend. It's a serious thing. When he gets a girlfriend, he becomes obsessed. So I don't know when we will see MJ again. I would hope it would be sometime next year, but I get so many questions about it, and the thing is, I don't know. That's the problem. And see, now that I'm all the way out here, it's very hard to know what's going on. I haven't spoken to him in over a week. I try my best to keep up, though. I call him all the time, but I don't want to get into all that. But Like I said, I know I get a lot of questions about MJ when he's going to come back. It looks more and more like I'll have to be the one that goes. And I will, and I really am planning on going to more horror conventions too out on the East Coast, because the ones out here are alright. I mean, I've only been to that one horror convention. The best thing out here, I would say, is Comic-Con. But I really like Monster Mania, so I'm definitely going to go back to that, and planning to go back to that in June, because I saw it's going to be in Hunt Valley, which is really close to where I lived, and it was close to where I used to work in a movie theater. I don't care about if anyone knows where I work now, but that's where I worked at the movie theaters right out there, and it was my favorite place to go to a convention was the Hunt Valley place. Like, out of all the ones, everything was perfect. Even Ken Furry, who I talked to the last convention, was saying how that was one of his favorite places. It's a great place for conventions. Everything was perfect at that place. So a lot of places just can't live up to that location. It was spread out in 2 levels, great room for dealers, great place for their guests and everything. Do you like the new Star Trek film? Why or why not? I like the film. I have only watched it that one time, but I did like it. I really like, though, the original Star Trek series, the very original. I have the first 2 seasons on Blu-ray. I really like that. I was the first time I saw it was on Blu-ray, and I really thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I never watched any of the other seasons. I don't know. I liked William Shatner. I liked Leonard Nimoy. I liked everybody in the original. What is your favorite foreign film? I think one of them I would say is City of the Lost Children, if anyone's seen that. That's a really cool one. Ron Perlman is in that, who's, at that point, Ron Perlman was really known from Beauty and the Beast series. Now he's been known for Hellboy and a lot of B horror films. The thing I like about Ron Perlman is he does every type of movie. He doesn't just do big Hollywood things. He'll do a big Hollywood movie, then he'll do a real lower budget thing, and I like that. He doesn't just only do one type. What's your favorite Canadian movie? I don't know. I'm trying to think of what are some Canadian films. I know they shoot a lot of movies in Canada. A lot of films actually shoot in Canada, but I don't know. I guess one that I would say that I know is produced fully in Canada is Ginger Snaps. That's a really good one. Hopefully at some point they put a Blu-ray of that out. I know for Canadian, though, I know the TV series, though, that I liked was Afraid of the Dark, which was Canadian produced. And that's why there's all this kind of stuff, why it's not released on DVD through Nick. It's released on DVD through that Acorn something or other, some kind of company out there. But the whole series, not everybody knows this, the whole series of Afraid of the Dark is out on official DVDs, but they're not out in America yet. And I don't think they will be. They only put out the 8 Freaky Favorites, which was basically just 8 episodes of the last series, the very last season of the show. That Elijah Cuthbutter, I never know how you say your name, who was in captivity and a lot of things, was in that series. Would you rather make a remake of your favorite movie knowing it will make millions, but will be hated by fans of the original? Would you rather make something and not make $1 off it? I think if someone for some reason asked me to direct a remake of something, and it would be something like Bill and Ted or something like that I really liked, if I knew they were going to do it anyway, I would like to have tried my best at making it good, and see if I made a remake of something, I would make it the same kind of thing. I would find people that are really like the original people. I would try and get everybody I could from the original that wanted to be in it to do cameos and appearances, because I think that's, when you see a remake of something, especially like certain movies, it's really cool when they work at getting cameos and appearances from the original actors. They don't do that all the time anymore. They were in the very beginning trying to get people and all of that, and I thought that was a really cool thing to get all those people, and that's made it worth it just to see that. So I would probably say that, but I wouldn't mind making something if it didn't make any money. But the only problem with that was if I put all my own money into it and didn't make anything, that wouldn't be good. Especially if it was a big budget thing, I'd be in deep shit for a while. Have you ever had a mustache? If so, can you show us what it would look like? Well, I've never had a mustache. I guess I could tear a piece of paper and draw a mustache. I mean, I don't really know what a mustache would exactly look like on me. I mean, I've never grown a mustache. I can't really even grow in an official beard. The thing is, if I don't shave, it becomes more like just an under chin. Like there was this one kid I went to school with, I remember, and I always called him Hairy Underchin because he like all the hair was just under here, and it was like an inch or two thick. It came across looking like peculiar testicle hair pubes. And I'm cutting out this mustache. It's really cheaply cut out. Let's see here. Like this is kind of how it would look like. Hello, I have a mustache. I don't know, like this or something. That's what I don't know. Someone could take a still shot and in Photoshop and add one on, and post a link to it underneath this video. You can add a mustache at that point. Okay, the next question is, why did you move to San Diego? Well, San Diego is where I always liked. I like LA. The problem with LA is I'm not a huge fan of busy cities. I don't care for New York because of that. I go in New York and get like kind of overwhelmed with it. And LA, the one thing about LA too is it's a very big pain in the ass to park anywhere or to get anywhere. Where I live out here, the good thing is it's easy to get to everything. It's easy to get to Best Buy. It's easier to get to Fry's. It's easier to get to the things I like. Out there, it's all these, you gotta like park, and it's all this money to park and stuff. Basically what I do is I just drive out there if there's auditions and things like that, or take the train, because it's really easy to take the train. And that's what a lot of people do. Like a lot of people live in like, horror actors stuff live in like that far up part, in like Bear Creek or whatever that is. What was your first horror movie you ever saw? I don't know what the first horror movie was. I remember the first R-rated movie I saw in theaters. I think I remember the first one I ever saw was Alien Resurrection. Alien 4, the City of Lost Children, one of the directors of that directed that. I remember that was one of the first ones I saw. Did you ever see The Expendables, and how'd you like it? That was out during the time I was super busy doing films things, so I missed seeing that. But I really do want to see it. When it comes to Blu-ray, I'll definitely get that. What's your favorite Robert De Niro film? The ones that I really liked were Showtime. No, not Showtime. Taxi Driver was very good, like for performance-wise, and but I like him in the comedy movies. I like him in Meet the Parents. The ones that I really liked though, for him for comedy, was the Analyze This and Analyze That films. I liked him a lot in those films. What is your favorite trauma film? Probably the original Toxic Avenger and Class of Nukem High, and then I really like Terra Firma. How long did it take for you to get 0 subscribers to 26,993, and are you happy with them? I can't tell you how much I appreciate every single person that's subscribed and stuck with my videos from the beginning. I believe it, for me to get that many subscribers was very surprised. I was very surprised, especially because when you think about like me in school and stuff, I was an unpopular turd. So it's very exciting just to know people enjoy watching these videos, and all these videos too, I make them just because people enjoy watching them. And if I didn't have support with them, I don't think I would have done them. Acting was always something I wanted to do either way, but these videos, especially DVD updates, I do for the viewers, and because I like to just share my opinions of things, and I only ever call them opinions and not reviews. You could say they're a review, but they're really just an opinion. Reviews are only just somebody's opinion. But I think, how long did it take? I remember in the very beginning, I think we were like at 1,000 for a really long time. Maybe not even 1,000, but then I started doing the DVD updates, and then when I did that, they started to grow and grow, and that was mainly what did it, doing the DVD things. Doing DVD updates were one of the best things I ever did, because there's so much attention came just from doing them, and I'm glad to see other people have been doing them as well, though. And am I happy? Like I said, definitely. What are the 4 basic noticeable differences between Maryland and California? Of course, the weather goes without saying, but what are some of the more subtle things to make West Coast life different from life on the East Coast? Well, since I lived on the East Coast for 24 years, there's some differences. I think the weather is how out here it's usually always the same. It's like 60, and it rains like very seldom. But in Maryland, it was always raining. Like I know out here, I would say that when it starts to rain, people panic almost. Their driving is really bad, and because they're not used to it. So I can only imagine what they do if it started to somehow it snowed, some fluke, and it snowed. I think people would probably I don't know what would happen. But I guess that's one difference I've noticed. Um, I guess people I don't really notice a major difference. I notice out here people are more talkative. Like when you go in a store, a lot of people talk to you more than they did in Maryland. A lot of people when you went in Maryland don't say much to you. It was kind of just like, mm-hmm. But in here it's like, hello, welcome. There's a lot more of that I've noticed. A lot more, free spiritish people that are like more positive, dudes, I'm sure, too. A lot of people, there's a lot of dubes out here, which I've never done, surprisingly, never done dubes in my life, and I don't know if I really ever would. First, I've been around people that have, but I never have done them. I've never done anything like that, only ever drank, and very rarely, because when you're around certain people and you see people drunk, you kind of lose interest in that. The only time I ever did get drunk one time was at the high school reunion, and it was because that was a weird experience. And MJ was really drunk at that thing. He just kept woo, woo. But I guess that's one of the noticeable things. Another thing is fat guys notice this. There's a lot of different types of food out here. There's also a lot of Mexican food out here because it's so close to Mexico. And I really like Mexican food, and I've tried like a lot of them. I really like MXN, which was called something else before, and there's so many different ones. There's El Pollo Loco, Del Taco. El Pollo Loco's good. Del Taco's pretty good, but none of these were in Maryland. In Maryland, it was very seldom you'd find Mexican. You saw Taco Bell, you saw Qdoba, which I don't think's out here, and you saw Chipotle, which I've never been a fan of Chipotle. To me, I don't know. I don't like that as much. I would prefer to go to MXN, one of the more authentic ones. I guess some of those are some of the major differences I've noticed. I haven't been here long enough to pick up on everything yet, and to see. Another thing is, there's a lot of trick-or-treaters here, but we never, like in Maryland, I think we saw, like, in my entire life of seeing people come to the house and trick-or-treat, I saw like 30 people. In the one night here, there was hundreds. I guess the last question for this one is, what is the brand of TV downstairs and how big is it? What is your new job if you have one other than acting? TV, it's a Sony, I don't know the exact brand of it. The original one got broken in the move, so then the moving company paid for the new one. So at some point I might get that 3D TV though. I don't know, I'm thinking about it, I don't know. But I don't know the exact brand. I think it's 42 inches, which is already pushing it for the size of that room down there. And what is your new job? Pretty much right now it's just acting, and that's my main thing. So thanks a lot, guys, for watching. And I guess I'll say I'll see you guys soon with part 6 of this. Thanks a lot for watching and for subscribing. I'll catch you later.